extremely brand new, very crispy podcast.
Zesty, if you will.
We have been rebuilt, redesigned, and rebranded. To my left is Anthony Caruso. He hails from the Bronx, New York. He is the champion's height of 5'10". And he's coughing.
Yep.
Directly in front of me.
Here of pneumonia. Me and Hillary Clinton are sharing a bed.
Wow.
Directly across from me, he hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Stands at 6'5 3/4.
Hey,
LeMayo.
And you can't teach that.
And I am Joey Nohana. And I am 5'8", and I'm the shortest man in this room. And I am from Tallahassee, Florida. Seminole country. And you can't teach that.
by the way, this is Tyson Tulud. We kind of glossed over my name, but yeah, I'm tall. So,
Did I say it? I didn't say
Called him Nick. You said Nick.
Oh.
yeah, well, no, that's not. That's
This motherfucker wanted to go by Anthony.
Well, that's cool for him.
Tyson Tulud is directly across from me.
Yeah, you just call me Brother Tyson. It's fine.
Brother. And I'll be Broken Joey for the remainder of this episode.
I'll be Senor Antonio.
So, boy, we are covering this. How many days late from Backlash?
Hell late.
Yep.
Super late.
Currently Friday.
It is currently Friday. Not yet. It is September 16th.
We're damn near 1 week removed.
Yeah, we've already had the Fallout programming
Yes.
for Backlash 2016.
That's right.
But fuck it. We're going to talk about it anyways.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
You're damn right.
So, we will jump right into Backlash. But before we do that, since this is our inaugural episode of our new rebranded podcast, we will give short bios as to our pasts and how we got into wrestling. So I will kick it off. My first experience with wrestling was Razor Ramon and Goldust. That's right. My father introduced me to wrestling by watching Razor Ramon and Goldust. Razor Ramon was the fucking man to me as a child. But most of my wrestling career resides in 2001, where Stone Cold Steve Austin was a heel, and everyone hated it, and I don't know why. I hated him as a kid, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. And my favorite pay-per-view of all time is WrestleMania 17. Damn right. And speaking of Backlash, the best Backlash ever was Backlash 2001.
You mean Backlash 2003, but that's cool.
Not likely. I don't like any Backlash with Big Show versus Rey Mysterio in a stretcher match. Thank you very much. So for the most part, I'm a 2001 guy, and I completely missed I missed the Attitude Era because I was too busy playing baseball games on the Sega Genesis. So, I'm glad.
Yo, did you play World Series Baseball 1997?
Not really.
I had that shit. That shit's fun as hell.
Not really.
With, creative players for Arizona Diamondbacks.
I did not watch the Attitude Era, and I'm kind of glad. I mean, towards the end of the Attitude Era, so I can't really say I was an Attitude Era guy. I was more of a post-Attitude Era, still WWF type of dude. The last, 3 years, or 2 years, 3 years if you count 2000 as WWF. So thank God, because the Attitude Era was not that great. But go ahead, Anthony, take it over.
I guess wrestling started for me. I don't have an exact time frame because my memory sucks. Somewhere probably 1999, 2000-ish.
Hold on, before you go on, Anthony was about to call the cops on Triple H getting married to Stephanie McMahon.
I want to say 9, 10 years old at the time. I swore to God that it was legitimate. I thought that Triple H was legitimately drugging this woman and marrying her illegally. I was so appalled and offended. There was no safe space to hold me.
Got it.
And I literally was about to grab the phone in my room and call the cops. So I was like, no way, somebody else is taking care of this.
So it was real to him.
Yeah.
When did you pick wrestling back up then? So for the time frame, if I had to say a time frame, it was 2000, 2001, 2002. Actually, from 2000 to 2006. Because once Triple H lost at WrestleMania 22, I lost interest, and I didn't pick back up until Armageddon 2007 when Jeff Hardy and Triple H were going at it.
For me, I got in around the beginning of the McMahon Helmsley era, probably before that. It ended. I mean, I was probably in and out before that. I don't have a lot of memories of it, but roughly around the time of the first draft, maybe a little bore that. I remember that being a thing.
Oh, 02?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that when Bischoff
the big
was
split?
in?
Yeah.
Because I was enjoyed the end of the WCW run, and occasionally, if I would make sure I caught it, I would catch ECW on TNN.
Garbage. Tyson?
Well,
Before you begin, this guy has an awful past. He does not know anything about the real Stone Cold. But go on.
yeah, so I suppose I started about late 2002, early 2003, and as far as I'm concerned, Stone Cold is a GM. In fact, he's
a sheriff.
The sheriff of Raw, and it's basically a GM who kicks ass, according to Matt Hardy, who was pretty pissed off with the whole sheriff thing at the time. I got to experience the very height of the dub, which was the Bischoff era, the era of HLA, when the Elimination Chamber was created, and things were pretty fucking lewd. I got to enjoy.
Too lewd for me, dude.
Yeah, I got to enjoy all of that, and I got to enjoy one of the greatest rivalries ever: Triple H and Shawn Michaels fighting each other for 3 years. Fantastic. At the time, Triple H was my favorite wrestler, and it was just a really good time to be a fan of the game. He had just returned off of his quad injury, and he was like a fucking hero, and he was huge and ridiculous.
I was sitting crisscrossed in my living room with all the lights off because I wanted this to be as epic as possible. They were hyping up Triple H's return. I watched this live on television. It was fucking loud. It was massive.
It was insane.
Madison Square Garden was never louder than when Triple H came
That was
back.
my introduction to the game, and basically I rolled with that until about late 06, early 07, then kind of fell off, and then got into TNA, and then was into TNA for a while, then got back into the dub right around, I don't know, I guess 09, 2010, right around 2010,
Yeah,
2011, somewhere.
I think the void that was filled when I stopped watching WWE, it was filled by TNA, because then I got into Angle and Joe and AJ and Angle,
Motor City Machine
Guns, the beautiful people with Lacey Von Erich and all the when TNA was actually for the most part better than WWE for a while.
Introduced to AJ Styles as the fucking Prince of Phenomenal. He was still begging Kurt Angle's wife. That was sweet.
It was very and then despite all of our backgrounds, we all came together in 2011 and refound wrestling together.
Once I met these two schmucks over here.
And the first thing we could all talk... Well, I think Nick, or Tyson as he is... Sorry, didn't mean to shoot. Tyson... I don't know about that, but me and Anthony definitely talk about John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler. Survivor Series 2011.
Oh, man. That was a phenomenal match. That might have been the match that was I was back.
That brought me back to wrestling.
I was watching the Raws before that, trying to, because unlike these guys, I dropped outside of maybe a couple weeks in 2007, maybe in and around there, maybe before that. I don't remember the time frame exactly. Outside of a few weeks there, I dropped wrestling altogether. I wasn't cool and watched TNA in the mid 2000s or anything.
Oh yeah, damn!
I gotta be on the board, man.
To see when I was a kid, after I was a little disheartened by WCW and ECW closing, and it wasn't the same. And by that age, you're getting older, and people are calling you a faggot for still liking wrestling. And you're finding out that wrestling isn't real, and wait a minute. So I dropped it for a really long time until I met these guys, and then.
So before we start, 2 questions for everybody. We'll start with Tyson. Favorite match, favorite wrestler.
Like ever?
Yes, to date.
Oh Jesus, dude, that's kind of a big. That's
It
kind of a big
is.
question.
It is, but it will define who you are as a person.
Wow, that's. I mean, no pressure or anything.
Favorite wrestler of all time. It could be from any era. Could be and favorite match.
Jeez, man.
WWE wise, I know there's indie stuff out there
Yeah.
that's awesome, but there's a lot of good indie shit. But WWE specifically, or / WWF, but I don't think you watched any WWF, so.
No, not really. That's hard as hell. In the dub, favorite wrestler of all time. I'm going to stick my guns and say Triple H because he's the fucking man. Like, he was my growing up childhood favorite wrestler, and he's still the game. So I know it's kind of an easy answer, but I'm gonna have to go with the game of overall favorite WWE wrestler. Even though we all know I'm a huge Seth Rollins mark. Like,
Yeah, well. Yeah, but
Huge.
Triple H is Triple H. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Triple H is still Triple H. So.
And favorite match of all time. First thing that comes to your head that you have to say, yeah, that's up there.
Really on the spot. I forget exactly which pay-per-view it was. It might have been Survivor Series. When him and Shawn had that it was like a 3 stages of hell thing. They had the
Armageddon 2002.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
The ladder match was the last fall.
Yeah.
Technically fall, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was the last stipulation. Yeah, that match was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that was.
I remember watching that and thinking, after Survivor Series where Shawn won it, it was very kind of disheartening to watch him lose it the next month. But, Anthony, your turn.
Favorite wrestler? 2-part answer. When I was a kid, when I was first into wrestling, definitely Kane. It's gotta be Kane. But if you'll ask me now, of all time, not allowed to say his name, but it rhymes with Pris Henois.
Oh, man.
Favorite match? Probably the main event for WrestleMania 20. Chris Benoit versus Shawn Michaels versus
the
Triple
triple
H.
threat match.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Oof.
Just because of like how big it was for my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Winning his only real world championship.
Yeah.
And it was just an emotional moment, and just everything that happened after the fact.
You got me with that one because for me, favorite wrestler of all time, I have a few favorites. I can't really pinpoint my very, very favorite. That's a very. I asked the question.
I just would have assumed it was Austin.
As a kid, it was Austin, definitely. But when I grew up, it's a tie between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit.
Really?
Yeah, it really is because.
Well, I guess it depends on what you really like. Because I know,
Well,
especially you and I,
we're
more
technical guys. Yeah, we're Matt wrestling marks.
Yeah.
So Chris Benoit was the ultimate in just mat wrestling and a guy that will work you really work a body part. And Angle, for the most part, was a good brawler. As a kid, it was probably Stone Cold Steve Austin because I was so obsessed with heel Austin.
Yeah.
And my father loved it. He loved when Stone Cold turned bad, and I remember being a child and thinking, this sucks ass. Why did he do this? This is the worst. Favorite match ever. This is gonna be something that I shouldn't really, as a technical guy, but this is gonna speak for where I come from as a wrestling fan and where my roots lie in, and it's the 6-man Hell in a Cell match at Armageddon 2000. There was no technical wrestling. It was just 6 guys beating the living shit out of each other.
Hey man, it doesn't have to have technical wrestling.
No, but I'm a technical.
Something I've learned throughout the years.
But I'm a technical wrestling guy, so that should be on my list. Second favorite ever, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17. just because it was so fast paced. That match, they worked it. There was no lag, there was no downtime. It was just two guys for 20 minutes straight keeping the pace up. And I guess if you have to go technical with it, third match, I think if we did, maybe I should have asked best technical, best brawling, best
that would have been too much to think of.
yeah, but I have best technical match 1995 Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart Iron Man match. That's it for me, because Bret Hart, when I first started watching wrestling, he was definitely one of my favorites, him and Razor Ramon, and I loved Bret, and I love him even now as an adult, because he's more of a technical guy. He was the Chris Benoit of the early 90s and the mid 90s. So I guess but the if no one's ever seen that Armageddon match, holy fuck. Like, it was ridiculous. There was a lot of shit going on, and it also was the last match that I felt that really gave a good sense of the Hell in a Cell, because now the Hell in a Cell doesn't mean anything. No. It's been dumbed down. It's really watered down match. When you heard Hell in a Cell, you thought guys were gonna die.
Yeah. Now it's just like, oh shit, it's September.
It's a good cage. It's a sweet cage match.
Or the October pay-per-view. I'm sorry, not the September pay-per-view.
Yeah. So those were our bios. Those are quick bio. That might be its own little segment. Maybe I'll make that its own little thing. Well, it won't be included into this
if we're gonna toss in other matches that we like, I know this isn't a WWE match, but my other favorite match of all time, PWG. I forget what event. But Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan.
11.
Was it 11?
Yeah,
that's right.
11.
That's right. Yeah, it was Kevin Steen's last show.
Kevin Steen. Oh yeah. The World Series Tag Team versus the Young Bucks. Fantastic match.
And a guerrilla warfare match.
Ooh,
and I hate hardcore matches, but it was...
Dude, that was the match that got me into the P-Dub.
You want to talk... at large. You want to talk about, like, indie matches? I'm probably going to go with Tyler Black versus Roderick Strong for the world title. ROH world title. I think it was Death by Dishonor. I don't remember the name. But it was Roddy's first title win, and it was against Tyler Black, and that match was fucking amazing. And that was like my first exposure to Tyler Black. And Roddy... Now we're creeping outside of WWE now.
Hey man, like...
Whatever, this will be its own episode, so who cares? Well, mini episode.
Whatever, and let's not write off all of other wrestling. WWE's starting not to, so why should we?
Yeah. So top 3 favorite wrestlers for me outside of WWE. In the world, I guess. Might as well, because WWE has got alright wrestlers.
Yeah.
But for the most part, top 3 guys, Zack Sabre Jr., Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. Actually, Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly.
For me, I'm going top 4 because I can't decide which one of these 4 are my favorite wrestlers. So, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, baby!
Tyson?
I'm going to have to go Tyler Black, Kevin Steen, AJ Styles. Easily. Easy.
AJ is... We'll more on AJ, but fuck, man.
There's a lot of good wrestlers out there. It's hard to narrow it down because there's other guys that like leaving guys off like Tommy End and Speedball Mike Bailey,
fucking Ricochet,
Kerry Von Erich, Bruiser Brody. Wait a second, Lex Luger, Dean fucking Malenko. Damn straight. All right, so. Backlash. We would jump right into Backlash, I guess.
Yeah.
From Richmond, Virginia, at the Richmond Coliseum, which was not much of a coliseum, but whatever. The pay-per-view kicked off with a little 9/11 thing. I thought there was going to be a huge American flag dropping down at some point, but they didn't go too American with it. I thought Hulk Hogan was going to come out as the Patriot or something and do a sweet promo. But the pay-per-view started. Pay-per-view starts with Shane and D-Bry. They both get entrances, by the way.
Yeah.
This is how important these guys are. They're super, super important. And one of my favorite things about these pay-per-views is when they announce the international guys, and then they get to the German guys, and there's a guy named Sebastian Hackel. That's the best German name I've ever heard in my life.
That's a pretty common German name.
But say it in German, it sounds really epic. I don't care what you guys say. So Shane talks about SmackDown guys getting opportunities. Now let's talk about the SmackDown roster for a second. These guys have been around. A lot of these guys have been around for quite a while. So I mean, what opportunities are we giving out?
There are a lot of NXT calls that are. Like,
but I mean, now it's like guys aren't languishing in the mid card that they were before. They're getting
that's true
opportunities to get to the main event.
That's true, but a lot of these guys have either competed in the main event or have been like in the main event picture at some point in their careers.
But the point is that there's more opportunities now that there are more main event pictures.
Whatever.
Yes.
Then he says they're giving the red team a run for their money. I doubt that, but whatever you say, Shane.
I wouldn't have thought that going into the show, but Backlash was pretty good. I don't know if Night of Champions is going to be better than Backlash.
We'll see. We will see.
I know, Nick, you've told me before that you didn't think it was so good.
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah,
I was underwhelmed by the pay-per-view.
You're in the minority on that one.
I guess. I was underwhelmed, but we'll get into it.
First match is the six-pack women's match. And Otunga proclaims that Naomi is his dark horse. And you could take that in a very couple of different ways.
I'd like to hop. Wow. I'd like to hop in for a second.
Are you implying some racial implications?
David Otunga is also black. Just remember that.
So, I'd like to say, for the record, that I don't know what sick, diseased mind, what lecherous pig decided to put Alexa Bliss in pigtails and two-tone lipstick.
Man.
But I'd like to find that individual and shake their fucking hand, okay? Because let me tell you something. For those of you who don't know, your boy Tyson over here is a huge Bliss mark, all right? For serious. And, for serious. And, I don't know if it's, is it wrong to masturbate on 9/11? I mean, is that... I'm sure it's frowned upon in most circles, but guilty.
Not in a circle, jerk. Absolutely not.
But yeah, she's been repackaged into the whole Harley Quinn gimmick, which apparently is going to stick. Apparently that's going to be a thing now. And,
I mean, it's relevant, kind of, and you know how WWE likes to jump on.
Yeah,
and it's Alexa Bliss.
Things that are on the tail end of its relevancy.
And I'm all for it. I mean,
She pulls the look off.
She pulls the look off, like, fantastically.
Should have casted her for the movie.
And the whole, like, thing she was doing...
Whoa now.
Wow.
Whoa now.
Wow. Let's not take anything from my girl Margot Robbie.
You better chill
right?
in that seat, yeah.
But in either case, like, the whole thing with her having the glove and all that is kind of a holdover from the Freddy Krueger gimmick she had. Freddy Krueger gimmick. I can't say that. Freddy Krueger gimmick that she had with Blake and Murphy. So she's kind of shedding that and, you know, going with something different and still keeping it heel, which is great. And yeah, great look for her. I was pretty stoked when I saw that.
Alexa and pigtails, definitely a highlight of the night.
Yeah.
So this match, I have a lot of things to say about this match, mostly because it was pretty good for a six-pack women's match.
Yeah, it was kind of messy, but
most six-pack women's matches are a bunch of chicks posing, doing stupid shit that no one really cares about, killing the crowd. This match was good.
Yeah, there was a couple of things that could have killed it, but for the most part,
you could go ahead and say Naomi almost fucked up a few times.
Yeah,
but
that skin the cat,
skinning the cat, skinning the cat on
Hurricane Rana on Natty over the ropes.
On Natty
had to set her up and noticeably took the crowd out for like a minute or a minute and a half.
Yeah, but it didn't really kill the mood. But thankfully, it was a fresh crowd. It was the first match on the card.
Yeah.
So naturally, the crowd is not going to be murdered on the first match. Yeah. But Naomi, I will give. All right, Otunga said something about Naomi being the best athlete and the most skillful wrestler in the ring. I will have you know
that said best athlete. He did
skillful. Well, I thought he was throwing a lot of compliments at Naomi, but
I only caught him saying best athlete, which I would agree with.
Yeah. Agreed.
In either event, Alexa Bliss is the best athlete. Technically, she's a gymnast.
Technically speaking, yes. She's also an IFBB champion and all that.
She is technically the best athlete in the ring.
She's competed in the Arnold Classic since she was
But
5.
watching the way Naomi moves and the way she works, it's evident that she is
Naomi was the best athlete because she did the most spots. That's
she is the most athletic wrestler as far as like moveset wise. She has the most athletic.
She pulled. I'm not gonna lie. She took a lot of more bumps than other girls did, and I give her all the credit in the world. So I mean, she did a last chancellery. She pulled off the blockbuster top rope,
which a lot of people like that. I've got a gripe with it.
What's your gripe, Anthony? Or Tony, as you were.
You can call me Anthony. I hate Tony.
No. You will be Tony. Tony Caruso. It's a good ring name.
Tony.
Hey.
I hate Tony. But
Agatino. All right, go ahead.
That's my father's name.
You make a great frozen pizza.
I make a mean frozen pizza. But
go on.
My gripe with this match, or not this match, but that particular spot, and another spot that happened in this match that happens in every triple threat match of all, like ever, or any multiple person match, is that when they're setting up for the blockbuster, Naomi takes too long. Like Natty's clearly just holding up. Was it Nikki Bella that she was holding? Who was she? I don't remember who she was holding.
Carmella? No, Carmella was the first one.
It was Alexa, wasn't it? That got
because she got pinned right after that.
Yeah, she was.
But she's holding her up, like obviously waiting for Naomi to set the move up, and it. Yeah, I get it. It's scripted.
But it was very obvious that they were setting it up.
It takes you out of the match, especially that Naomi's babyface, and Natty's a heel. There's obviously no sort of collusion between the two of them to work together. Yeah. There was nothing like a talking segment where they talked before that move was going to happen. So it's just one of those things that takes me out of the match. That, and there was another spot where I don't remember who was the recipient, but the third recipient of this move. But Nikki was setting someone up on the top rope for a superplex, and then Natty comes up underneath to do the powerbomb superplex. Was it Carmella? This spot happens in every multiple person match ever. Why in God's name, if you were the person that's going to get powerbombed, why would you still hold the superplex? Why wouldn't you try to fight out of the powerbomb?
Because it's a spot.
But again,
spots need cooperation.
Yeah, but that's something that's so unbelievable. Why do you have it?
Because it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's the
if you're like some dumb fan, but
it's the obligatory multiple person spot where everyone explodes and they're all over the place and
but if you have half a brain, like it takes you out of the match.
No, it's called suspension of disbelief, Antonio. Like, come on, there's kids in there. There's kids watching.
Yeah, but you can do cool stuff and not have it look that dumb.
I agree.
I hate it.
Anthony it's looking really into cool spots. I don't know.
It's all right. Like,
dude, don't get on me about bitching about this. You bitch about guys who wrestle in jeans.
Excuse me.
The name CCW, even though you've never seen a CCW match in your life.
Excuse me. Let's be real. The women had wrestling gear on, for the record. So we're not gonna complain about the women. But I see what you're saying. I understand the logic of wrestling is very like out there sometimes, especially with like a lot of things. To that credit, you could also say, why do guys not just reach for the ropes? Why do they have to just stay right in the middle? They could fight out of it. Or there's a lot of moves that are easily broken out of.
I was just gonna say that there's a lot of things if you really want to nitpick it, but that's just something that like I can't overlook.
2 words: ankle lock. Not hard to get out of. You just gotta kick the guy really hard a lot of times. Anyways, we digress. So
I mean, if you want to talk ankle lock, though, when you're in that position, it's hard to get a really strong kickoff. You're not really.
You don't have a lot of weight. Not exactly.
Damn it.
This is a debate for another podcast.
Yes, this is another. Yeah. So, the fans chant, "This is awesome," and the pace is being kept by all the women throughout the match for the most part. But another harping on what you said about wrestling logic, and Alexa Bliss did this a couple times, and even the announcers called her out on it. You have to pin people. You don't throw them out of the ring after like a big move.
Yeah.
So
that's something I've seen in other elimination matches before. It's not the first time that's happened.
Generic wrestling logic has been lost amongst these women. I mean, that'll come with time. We can't have it all, okay? Can't have it all. We've got the good wrestling. We've got the good spots coming for the women. The logic will come in due time, I guess. we will sacrifice logic for cool spots and like fast-paced matches. So we'll take what we could get for now. But commentators, especially JBL. JBL doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
JBL, I'm so glad JBL does not give a fuck about anything because he pretty much calls everyone out on their bullshit. Other than that, other than the women failing to understand the word elimination, for the most part, this match was good.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Nikki got eliminated when she did. Like, that came as a surprise to me. I figured she'd just make it to the end.
I mean, it was kind of good that happened that way because you want to keep Nikki looking strong.
They're selling
They didn't want to put the belt on Nikki, so that was a good way to go. Yeah.
Agreed. It just took me as a surprise.
Yeah, I same for me, but I like what they did with that.
No, I agree.
They're selling Carmella for the most
They're
part.
going to probably beef this rivalry up a little more.
Yeah.
Two things that I noted. Nikki knocked the living shit out of Naomi when she did the springboard elbow or the forearm smash. Clocked her really good.
I thought Nikki looked really good in this match.
Looked really good. The girls hit hard. Yeah. All right, that's one thing that they've never really done. They've never really like put force into their hits or their moves. They did it. Someone told them to grow a set of balls, and they all did. The sharpshooter was referred to the Sasori Gatame by Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So he went back really to the roots of this move.
Yeah.
And Carmella sucks at virtually everything. Carmella cannot be a good heel. She cannot hit very well. She can't bump a slap very well. I don't know if you noted that. She's still very, very green amongst all the other women. She has the heel, I guess, the tendency of a heel to do very good, but whatever. At the end of the day, thank God Becky won this match. Because if Becky did not win this match, I was not watching wrestling anymore, and they listened to me. Because who else are you going to put this belt on?
She was the
I'm sure they listened to you. Yeah.
She was the obvious pick.
I don't know. You guys were talking about possibly Nikki Bella winning this fucking match.
But I mean, it wasn't out of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be either Becky or Nikki.
Yeah.
I mean, Nikki winning would have been a step backwards for the company, but I mean, like, Becky goes with the whole new era thing and everything else. I mean, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Did you guys by chance notice the elimination pattern of this match?
No.
Everybody who made an elimination got eliminated next.
Huh. So that would mean Becky was the only elimination she made was the last one.
Yeah, everybody only made one elimination.
Oh, I see.
Good. They always got eliminated right after they made one.
Can't make one woman stronger than the other ones. So we're. By the way, Becky has a very much deeper voice than I do. Very deeper. Very, very deep voice. And I feel less of a man now after hearing her. So we were greeted with some kid named Jagger Eaton. I have no idea who this guy is.
What?
Jagger Eaton.
That kid from Nickelodeon or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot that happened.
So segment.
The Miz looked.
Who cares?
So much stronger than this kid. This kid felt like a piece of cardboard.
The kid was like, what, 13 maybe?
But he's also an actor, and he felt very cardboardy, and he sucked. This had no reason being on TV, but they decided to do it anyways. I have no idea what this kid Jagger even did the rest of the night.
Sat in the Miz's dressing room or whatever it was.
Cool for him. So, WWE decides until the pay-per-view to kill off Randy's appearance on this pay-per-view, which made no sense.
Well, I believe the reason was he didn't heal from a concussion. And they were hoping to the last minute.
Kind of a letdown.
People were upset that they did promote this match up until
so he was questionable until until game day, and then
so they were jerking our chain.
They rolled him out of the game.
Which I'm going to say something about it when we get to later in the pay-per-view about concussions and wrestling and
okay. So Anthony PhD will be giving us a visit. You're with the club, aren't you? With the jackets and stuff.
What about
doctors? Your doctors alongside them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was one of the lead researchers on the ring postitis epidemic.
And old farts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we are introduced to the Usos and the Hype Brothers, as JBL referred to them. The Hype Brothers. Remember that. I will forever call them the Hype Brothers after that. These guys still get no hype. Absolutely
that
none.
match,
flat.
had no fan. The crowd was dead for that match.
Yeah, there was nothing going on.
The Usos are not good heels whatsoever. They are not good. They do not know how to keep the pace. They do not know how to keep you interested. They just know how to bore you. I don't know if that's a heel tactic. It might be a heel tactic.
The Usos weren't even that exciting when they were baby faces.
They weren't exciting, but they decided to, apparently, to these guys, a heel turn is wearing really white Air Forces and wearing black. That's their idea of being heels. Not, fuck the crowd across their chest.
Labor Day, man. It's a no-no.
What a heel turn. If you told me being a heel required wearing really white sneakers, I'd be doing it all the time. I would get over so fast. This match was not that good at all.
It wasn't a bad match. There was nothing exciting about it. There was nothing. I wasn't.
The Usos did chin locks and more chin locks in this match, and they couldn't have been more staler as heels. I get that they're trying. I'm not going to write them off. They might do something really crazy somewhere down the line, like might run over Stone Cold Steve Austin again.
Well, they're trying to do heel shit, work body parts and take people's knees out and shit.
That's true.
Give people MCL sprains.
Now MCL sprains, because if you had an ACL, you'd be out way longer.
Yeah.
So and WWE had to get their injuries correct here, because if you say ACL, we're all going to call bullshit. My problem with this match was the fact that so referee Charles Robinson has been around for, I don't know, a long time.
Talking shit about Lil Nate?
He's been around since WCW was in existence, and I don't know if he was an original referee. I'm not sure how far his history goes back, but he knows his shit. This guy's been around for a while. He witnesses the Usos chop block Zack Ryder, correct?
Yeah.
Zack Ryder got chop blocked right in front of the referee.
Is chop blocking illegal wrestling?
Yes.
Oh,
it is extremely illegal. It is not a legal move. That is what they said illegal on the TV when they did it.
Well, unless you're Ric Flair.
Well,
but Ric Flair did it without the ref looking.
I thought they were making reference to how it's illegal in football, but
it's also illegal in wrestling, in case anyone didn't know that.
Closed fist punching is illegal in wrestling, and it happens all the time in the WWE. So
WMD. Shout out to Big Show.
Anyways, and then they do the same thing they did to Gable. They do the what's that even called? The super kick in the back of the leg. I guess it's like a chop block super kick. I don't know what to refer to that as. They do it in front of the referee, and the referee does nothing. Charles Robinson does nothing. He just goes, "Hey, you guys got to get out." That's not really stopping this from happening. Could have hurt Zack Ryder. They win the match this way, and the first thing I thought was, what is wrong with you, Charles Robinson? Why are you not being a referee? Instead of telling these guys to get out of the ring, you could have told them to stop doing that or DQ them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a referee.
You know how often DQs happen for
I'm just saying.
That.
I'm just saying. Chop block is an automatic DQ.
The 5 count and the 10 counts get abused, and
I can't wait. So apparently, to all the wrestlers out there, Charles Robinson is perfect for kicking guys in the balls and not getting in trouble for it or DQ'd for it. So now we move on to The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. This match started. By the way, a little bullet point here. Dolph Ziggler is still heel Ziggler on Twitter. He's not a heel anymore.
He hasn't been a heel for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is his Twitter handle still heel Ziggler? Got to change that to face Ziggler at some point. So
the heel shit's what got him over, though.
Right before
#heel.
Right before The Miz came out, he tried to negotiate a contract right before his entrance, which is very Ultimate Warrior-like. So shout-outs to Mike. But this guy's really pulling up this whole biggest thing on SmackDown deal. Tries to renegotiate a contract literally seconds before he comes out. That's a heel move. I'd say that's a good on him. So when he gets into the match, Anthony actually pointed it out to me. This was a nod to CM Punk's match against Mickey Gall, apparently.
Mm-hmm. I guess The Miz was supposed to be CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler was Mickey Gall, and then
slammed him down, started punching him a couple times, and then put him in a rear naked choke. Very CM Punk.
Yeah.
UFC-ish. So they definitely threw a nod to the old Philly.
That fight was awful, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw it.
The fight was bad. The fight was
know how to watch UFC.
I know, but I'm sure you might have picked up a highlight or something.
Yeah. We all saw his face.
The whole thing was like a minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It was awful. Yeah.
Very bad debut, but we all knew that. But anyways, back to
bad day for Phil. Yeah.
Back to real competition. So The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. This had a lot of potential to be good. It was not bad.
I liked it. I didn't think. I mean, it wasn't the greatest match, but it was.
Yeah, it was
The match for me. Ziggler did a lot of mat wrestling, which is he's known for and he's good at it.
I mean, he's been wearing his fucking wrestling team hoodie.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, they can reference that.
So Ziggler was not the problem with this match. The problem with this match was, ironically enough, The Miz, because he could not stop posing the whole time. I could not count how many times this guy posed during this match.
Well, the gimmick is he's an actor and he's a heel. Of course he's going to do that.
Of course, but when you're on a pay-per-view match for the Intercontinental Championship, you do not pose 80 million times. You must wrestle the match.
You've got to sell the gimmick, though.
The gimmick is boring. Posing for 20 minutes is not a gimmick.
He didn't pose for 20 minutes.
It was
a little bit more going on than you're trying to sell here.
Okay. Bottom line is, the match was slowed down by this garbage. Okay? The match could have been good, and the beginning started out good, got really laggy in the middle, and then the end, it started out fresh and hot, then it lagged and cooled down, then it was picking up, and the end was looking pretty good. It was actually not bad. And then Ziggler loses to some mace in the face by Maurice.
because Maurice is still Bay.
Well, of course, you gotta do the heel manager finish. You gotta play this whole gimmick up, man.
This killed any momentum Dolph Ziggler had. Because
it's not about Dolph Ziggler; it's about the Miz.
Okay.
Where do you go with Dolph now?
All right. Well, yeah. Right before we get in there, gotta pose a question to you guys. Manager-wise, Maurice or Lana?
Maurice, 10 times out of 10.
Agreed.
Like, are we talking like just as a
Overall.
Maurice.
Yeah.
Maurice.
Yeah.
Agreed. I feel like
Way hotter.
I feel like that Mace move pretty much cemented it. She's actually like
She can wear the belt very well, too.
She actually gets. She's been getting involved. You know.
She doesn't just smile and kind of wait for the crowd and
I mean, Lana did her thing too. You know, like
talk about how Rusev's the only guy that can have her.
Yeah, you gotta think about Lana's entire body of work though. Before they got married, when she would come out and demand that he crush people and stuff, and when she was more of like Rusev's handler than like his wife or whatever. But yeah, still Maurice though.
I can't see Maurice doing that.
I feel like Maurice has been playing more of a role lately, and she's like really becoming a top valet or whatever.
Well, that's part of the whole thing is that Miz gets accused of taking all the easy ways out and using Maurice as
Maurice is the real champion here. But yeah, as far as Dolph goes, that's it for him. Like there's nothing left. Like this, he painted himself into this corner when he's like, oh well, this is it, man. This is my last shot. Everyone knows that if not here, then they're like we're like literally from a creative standpoint, from a booking standpoint, and from a character standpoint, where does Dolph go? Like it's not like there's a tertiary title for him to like set his eyes on.
Dolph should be getting a rematch.
Why would Dolph get over? Oh, because of the finish.
Because of the finish,
I guess.
You could ban Maurice. That's where I think it's gonna go. No mercy. It'll be.
I hope not.
There's only one direction for Dolph Ziggler to go with this now. He's lost twice as the new Dolph Ziggler on SmackDown Live in big matches. There's only one way for this guy to go. Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, which wrestling the chicken is the only match this nigga can win. Like for real. Like here's what I'm saying, because I feel like they're really building this whole Miz Daniel Bryan thing. Okay, so that might culminate at No Mercy. Maybe it won't, but they're building that. I feel like the Miz has more on his plate now. Like Dolph needs to sit down. Like you lost 2 title matches in a row. Get back in line, dog.
They gave this guy a mic, told him to speak from the heart. He did. He put on some pretty good. He's not terrible on the mic whatsoever.
No, he put his heart in it.
He looked like he was speaking from the heart with Ambrose and with Miz, and he looked very convincing. But why in the world would you tell this guy to go out there and shoot from the hip, and he does good, and then you treat him with the mace to the face? Exactly.
Yeah, they are burying this guy.
They are not giving him any credit, or they're not putting him over for any reason.
I don't
whatsoever.
think this is ending here, so I don't think
it won't end.
Even
I think he's gonna get a shot at No Mercy.
Yeah, even if it extends into like another match, like he already looks like shit. You know,
so you don't look like shit by losing to a heel finish.
No, it's not just about that. It's just like this is your second loss in a row. So I mean, even if like he comes out and cuts more promos, he's gonna like he said himself that this is his last chance. That if he doesn't win this, he will be a loser. He said that, which is why he dug his own grave here. Like, he painted himself into a corner where he put himself in a position where, like,
but
this is my last chance.
He didn't really lose the match, though.
I suppose, but I mean, the man wasn't winning when he got sprayed in the face. Like, he was getting, it was kind of going back and forth the whole time. I don't know. Like, Dolph's not looking strong on the new brand, man. He is not looking strong at all.
And they have been promoting Ziggler as, you know, this is his chance to wrong the right, or to right the wrongs that's happened to him in the past. Yeah. So far, the only thing he's done right is beat The Miz in a chicken suit.
Yeah.
That's about as far as he's gotten on SmackDown Live. So I think on this edition of Vinso booking, here's what you do. You put
Vinso.
Vinso booking. So at No Mercy, book it right now. Maurice versus Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage match.
Wow.
No holds barred steel cage match, street fight, undisputed tag team championship match.
Okay.
So you settle this once and for all. And you have Maurice Blade a couple times. She'll look really good.
Okay.
And that's it for Russo booking.
So all sorts of stuff that WWE doesn't allow, like
Correct.
no blading in general, let alone having women blade. Like
Correct.
That would be.
Or Dolph. Dolph goes away.
Make sure it ends with a pile driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well go all out.
Dolph goes away. Has to go find himself. Comes back as Colonel Sanders and kicks ass. Takes names. Wins the belt. Wins the tag belts. Wins it all. That's the only logical step left for Dolph Ziggler.
Every belt on Dolph Ziggler.
So after this match, we have another shitty panel with three people that just can't get it right ever. Well, more specifically, Lita and Booker T. Actually, not really. Renee Young and Lita. Let's put it that way.
What's your deal with Renee Young and Lita?
Booker King.
Oh, yeah.
That's my deal with Renee Young. So I skipped past this part because I don't care what they have to say. I really don't. I just really couldn't give a shit about what Lita thinks about, because she's gonna talk up the Divas division like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So, all right,
well,
Amy.
that's kind of her job.
That's her. Yeah, whatever. Thanks, Amy. Anyways. Oh, Booker T, by the way, compared the Usos to Harlem Heat. Think about that for a split second.
Yeah, didn't he say like they're on their way to like time their record? Meanwhile, they're like not even halfway there.
Harlem Heat had 10 tag reigns, or 6.
I think he said 10 on the
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say 10, but I didn't know if that was a gross.
He had 6 world titles.
He did.
Yeah.
So 10 tag team reigns for him and Stevie Ray in WCW. The Usos have 2. They are roughly 8 tag reigns away, and I don't think anyone could care about these guys.
But they're 20% there.
True. Anyways, good job, Booker King, because they're not even close. Anyways, this Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton crap.
This was such shit. It was such shit. Like,
I didn't even watch the match because I didn't care.
Yeah, like this shitty little count out, the whole thing, and then here comes Kane. Who gives a fuck, dude?
Bray Wyatt, think about this for a second. Bray Wyatt wins via forfeit. The ref counted to 10.
Yeah.
He won via countout.
Yeah.
Not forfeit. Where are you counting? The opponent did not show up.
Yeah.
You just ring the bell, call it a day.
Well, that was as requested by Bray Wyatt.
The whole time,
Whatever.
all I could think about when Kane's walking down the ramp is, didn't Bray steal your powers? Like, didn't that already happen? Like... didn't he kidnap you and your brother?
Wait a second.
It
You're
was
looking
so predictable, like, too. Like, as soon as they said that someone was going to come out, like,
Yeah.
it's gotta be gay.
It could have at least
Although,
been
like,
Corporate Kane. Corporate Kane would have been live. Like, that shit would have been lit. If my man came out in the suit and started stripping to the waist, and became just fucking Glenn again. You know, like...
For a split second, I was like, maybe Luke Harper's coming back. And then I was like, that would have been good. That would have been something. But... it was Kane. It was obvious Kane for no reason to fill some time. And you know what? Fuck this crowd, because they cheered this entire match. They cheered and they enjoyed every shitty hardcore spot. Fuck them.
This crowd is stuck in about 2005.
I'm sure there was an ECW chant. I don't remember for sure, but
There
had to be an ECW chant.
There was.
Dude, like, if you, like, punch someone out of the ring and they, like, fall into a table, there's an ECW chant.
So
The table spot was okay.
my problem with this match was Bray Wyatt is sitting is in the ring, and the announcer says, however, there's another challenger. So I go,
Yeah.
who are they going to give an opportunity? Who's going to get a shot at Bray Wyatt? They could give anybody a chance. This could be someone's big spot. This could be a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And guess whose opportunity? It was Kane's opportunity.
Yeah.
This guy needs a push. Kane needs a push. He needs the spotlight. He needs to go over on Bray Wyatt very badly.
There has to be someone on the SmackDown roster that was...
Anybody. The two guys AJ talked to at the same time. Who cares?
And then, not only was this so predictable, like such a predictable thing to have Kane come out and fucking fuck hardcore matches, but not only that, but Bray Wyatt fucking lost to Kane.
Yeah, which, again,
Doesn't
put
do
these
anything.
guys over, man. Like,
Alright. Is Bray Wyatt the new, like, Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett?
Kane's a 20-year vet.
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing
He doesn't
going
need...
over?
he doesn't
no,
need,
he doesn't.
He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need to be in the ring.
Doesn't need.
Like... Is Bray Wyatt just some guy that's just going to hang around in the middle? Are we not going to be able to take anything he does seriously?
I hope not. Like now,
I mean, I think we can all admit that Bray Wyatt is one of, given the opportunity, one of the best things going.
dude, Bray
the
Wyatt's
brand.
been one of the best things going. Like they should have let him go over when him and Cena were feuding like a couple years ago.
I still stand by when they first debuted and they had that Money in the Bank when the title was vacated. They should have put the belt on Bray Wyatt at that point.
Yeah.
It made all the sense in the world.
Bray is over as hell. He's fan-fucking-tastic on the mic.
They keep doing this to him. They're going to lose him. People are just not going to care anymore.
Yeah.
And he's going to like hang in the middle. And he's going to be like what Dolph Ziggler was for a while. Dolph Ziggler doesn't get the pops that he used to anymore. I mean, now he's kind of come back a little bit. But.
And now's the time, because now, like, he's on a different brand, the roster's cut in half, they need guys in the title picture. They need more guys. So now, like, he can stand out, you know, because there's not a whole lot of heels and stuff. Like, he could be one of those guys.
Yeah. You shouldn't have had Randy Orton come out. Like, should have just left it alone. He could have still been injured. He could have shown that dominance over Kane, and you beat up an old guy. That didn't really mean it would have been a hollow victory.
Well, I mean,
but
like,
no.
what we can hope for is that this will continue the Randy Bray feud, and then
It could have continued either way.
Yeah.
It didn't need what happened.
No, they didn't need that, but now because their stuff is unresolved, you know that at No Mercy there's going to be more, and hopefully Bray will go over then because he should
give Bray Wyatt so much TV time with the promos and the pageantry
to job every single time.
Yeah,
he loses.
Like my man's just working all the time. Like
he puts up great promos. The Eater of Worlds and all this stuff, and the Eater of Buffets and all these great things.
Has he ever held the singles title?
Nope, never had a singles belt.
That's my knowledge.
It's a damn shame.
Never had a singles belt. Bray Wyatt has never won a championship. Tag belts? I think, maybe, possibly.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I don't even think so.
Bray Wyatt is wasted, and not only that, but after the great promos that he puts up, and they're trying to sell him as the next big thing on SmackDown, he loses to a RKO and a chokeslam by two guys whose prime is way past them, and they don't need this.
No,
they don't need this. Kane does not need this.
And nothing makes me angrier than when veterans bury like new talent. You know, like that's
there has to be some sort of tie to the to the nostalgia. Obviously, this crowd loved Kane. Loved Kane.
You could have let him have some offense and look like he was going to win, but there's why would he win? There's no reason for it.
No,
it is almost as if Randy Orton could not compete, so they said, "Gee, we need someone to fill in this spot." Kane, are you doing anything? And Kane's in catering, doing nothing. Because Kane does nothing. Has nothing to do. He is available forever.
Kane's just eating a big piece of pie, just hanging out.
He's never got anything on his schedule except being red. There's nothing.
Yep. You look at his day planner; it's just written over and over again.
Kane wakes up and does nothing but just just be angry and wear masks and have greasy hair. So he did not need this. But nonetheless, Kane is an upstart that really, really, really needed this win. Apparently,
I mean that Kane guy. Look out for him in a few years. He's gonna be something special.
I was very impressed. I was very glad that the table actually broke with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
There's no way that table couldn't have broke. First thing I was thinking was that table's not going to break, and if it doesn't break, it's going to hurt a lot. It's
you
going to
probably
break
got a combined weight of 600 pounds on that table.
True, but tables have done really weird things in the past, so I'm glad it broke. But Randy comes out selling the leg, gives him an RKO. That's all anyone ever wanted to see. Was an RKO.
I wanted to talk about that. So if you've got a guy who's nursing a concussion, knowing all that we know about concussions now, all the lawsuits that WWE takes, I get it was one bump. But you have a guy with a concussion that you can't clear for a match, take a bump for no reason, like to not do anything that was important. What are you doing?
I think.
What are you doing?
First of all,
I feel like I asked to dub that at least once a week.
Yeah.
First of all, I think Randy Orton's appearance on Backlash was very good for me because I saw his hoodie and went, I really need that hoodie. It has a snake on the back. It's a cutoff. Well,
I'm a fucking snake.
It's not being sold on WWE Shop as a cutoff, but it was something that Randy did on his own time, and I'm glad because it looks great. That is the only thing I gathered from this pay-per-view via Randy Orton. Other than the fact that he just needed to come on and do the RKO, which was not recommended.
So unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Infuriating, even.
Moving on. AJ Styles runs into the most jobberest guys on the face of the earth.
And just, like, crushes their spirit.
So Fat Guy Fieri and some other guy who looks like Wes Briscoe is in the back.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. AJ tells them that they will be destined for failure, and he is most likely right about this.
Yeah.
They will probably never do anything at all except be jobbers and go to live events and get their ass kicked. Yeah. They are probably waiting for the next Kane appearance, so good for them. AJ says everything that everyone thinks all the time, and he's a heel, and he shouldn't be doing that, but he does it anyways. So, we move on to the match of the night. The Slater Rhinos versus the Busos.
The Busos.
Heath Slater gets a humongous pop.
Yeah.
This guy is so over. Yeah. It is not even funny.
Said it before, like, people like Heath Slater, like, when they give him something to do, fans usually get behind him. And I don't know if you guys watched the pre-show. I just drooled everywhere. I don't know if you guys watched the pre-show. But, him and Rhino had a pretty, like, funny segment, like, in, like, their social media hub.
These guys are entertaining.
Yeah. By the way, I might be getting a little ahead of myself here, but Heath's new shirt.
Yeah, I got kids.
Shirt. I got kids. I need this job. Dude, I absolutely need that shirt. That's amazing.
Anthony showed me that.
Yeah.
He was watching SmackDown, and he pulls me into the room and goes, you need to see this.
Yeah.
When he came out that shirt, I lost my mind, dude. That's awesome.
I should probably buy that tonight.
I want that shirt so bad.
Heath Slater is probably, other than AJ Styles and maybe the women's division, kind of, is the best thing about SmackDown right now.
Yeah.
Heath Slater is definitely, and Rhino's just there just because he's Rhino.
Yeah.
So this tag team makes no sense, and it makes all the sense at the same time.
Hey man, sometimes teams that don't make any sense, they end up working like
Rhino,
like the real Americans.
And this is Rhino's first tag championship in America, in the States.
Really?
No, he was a tag champion with.
No, I'm pretty sure
Chris Benoit back in the day.
No, I'm pretty sure they said that. I'm pretty sure he said this was his first tag championship in the United States.
For some reason, I don't buy that. I'm pretty sure him and Chris Benoit won the belts a while ago.
Hey, that's what I hear.
I don't remember them saying this. So
okay.
I can't.
Anyways,
I definitely recall that.
Anyways, so Heath Slater and Rhino take on two guys. I don't remember their names. I don't care. No one cares. No one cares about the Busos.
No.
They're not good. God, it hurts.
Which one's Jimmy? Which one's Jay?
I think Jimmy's the one with the shirt, and Jay is shirtless.
Which one's Pipe and Naomi?
Whoever Jay is.
The guy with no shirt and a great beard.
Right on.
Yeah, that guy.
Hey, good for him.
So, other than this match not being as great, once again, like their other match, I must
It
ask.
wasn't a great match, but it was a great like build to a finish and end to like a story.
I will ask you, gentlemen, right now. I must ask you a question before we continue with this match. Where were you, or what were you doing on April 4th, 2001?
I have no idea. I was being like 11 and shit.
April 4th, 2001. Hell, I was.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 11.
Or a rough
Yeah.
estimate of the time frame that I'm giving you.
I was doing homework for 6th grade.
Yeah, I was in like 9th, maybe 10th grade. Yeah, I was like 15 at the time.
I believe I was watching reruns of WrestleMania 17. In either way, this was the day that ECW finally closed. Why is ECW still a chant? It's been dead for such a long time.
The ECW chant, as much as I hate to say it, because it's the worst thing about professional wrestling, will never die.
Yeah.
As long as there are ECW holdovers, as long as there's like a kendo stick ever.
Yes,
ECW
my favorite
chants
wrestler
will never
is
die.
my favorite wrestler ever was 3 tables stacked on top of each other.
It's
With
become
thumbtacks and
The
little
table
fire.
match.
it's become bigger than itself. You know, like you see some hardcore shit go down. You see an old ECW guy. You are compelled to relive the glory days. Of,
Yeah.
I would love to meet these people because if I ask them who their favorite wrestler is, and if they say New Jack
They're gonna say Sandman.
or the Sandman, yes, New Jack or the Sandman, which are both very bad wrestlers. Even Sandman knows he sucks ass. New Jack probably doesn't admit that he sucks ass, but he does suck ass. And ECW was not good. The only good thing about ECW was Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero,
Chris
Perry
Jericho.
Saturn,
Jericho.
Chris Jericho. A lot of other guys that deserved it, and ECW, once again, was garbage.
By the way, audience, you didn't know, Jose has a very hardcore, like anti-hardcore bias. Which I mean, I'm kind of behind him on that for the most part.
I
But
like a good hardcore match. It's
hardcore
fun.
matches only. I hate hardcore matches for one simple reason. If they are not required, they do not need to happen. If right now, for some reason, John Cena and Heath Slater started a rivalry, and their first match against each other was a Hell in a Cell,
Yeah.
that would be very stupid.
hardcore matches for no reason is no good, and hardcore matches in a PG era are no good.
Definitely no good. Dean Ambrose cannot. Dean Ambrose has survived this long. I have no idea how. He deserves to be in a better promotion, which actually allows hardcore matches. He is a hardcore match kind of guy.
I wouldn't mind seeing the hardcore title come back. Only because I like the whole 24/7 365 thing. As long as you have a ref, you have to defend it. I like that. And I
Strap
like,
that to some shitty secondary.
and I like the fact that like women can have it too. You know, like Terry Runnels when she had it. That was sweet.
Or Molly Holly.
Yeah.
Molly Holly had it at WrestleMania 18, and she got knocked out because Christian closed a door on her and he pinned her for the belt.
That
I
would
will never
be-
forget that.
Yeah, that would be like it would be cool if they brought that kind of element back.
It was one of those doors.
They need to bring the heavy metal weight championship, the DDT Pro
Heavy Metal Weight Championship would be a phenomenal idea. 24/7 rule was a lot of fun, I will admit.
Yeah, it was
I do not like hardcore stuff, but the gimmick of the
Yeah.
24/7
Yeah.
rule was,
Yeah.
provided a lot of
If they brought the
comedic
hardcore
relief.
title back, I would literally fast forward through every segment.
Yes.
because I do not give a shit.
I do not care. I do not care how many trash cans you bring into a ring, or kendo sticks, or how many times you could blow a guy up. I do not care if it is not necessary.
Show me some arm bars.
All right, yes, that's right. Let's do some leg bars.
Yeah.
So, after this match was over, I mean, if these guys didn't win the match, if Heath and Rhino didn't win this match,
I'm glad
it was
they didn't
a
drop the ball on this. I'm glad.
Yeah, they could have easily just went the other way. And
Yeah.
Props to WWE. They gave us what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted to see these guys win. We liked them. They delivered. Thank God WWE is
I think
on
everybody
board.
left with the championships that they should have left with. Or
Yeah.
the championships went home with the people they should have won.
Yeah,
gone home
agreed.
with.
The ending of this match confused me. I will ask you, gentlemen, right now. Do you remember the ending of this match? Good. Okay. Well, at the end of the match, JBL, for some odd reason, decided to say that the referee did not see Rhino goring Jimmy or Jay, whoever the hell was the legal man, and Rhino hit the gore. Heath got the pin. Correct.
Yeah.
Now, JBL consistently said, or constantly said, I should say, that the ref did not see the gore. What does it matter? Basically, he's saying that if the ref saw him hit the gore, it would be a disqualification. Are you telling me...
That never happens, though, in any tag match ever.
Why in the world was this a thing?
Yeah. People have used the 5 count all the time in tag matches. It's...
Once again, I will reiterate, the Usos chop blocked and super kicked the guy in the back of his knee, all within the span of about 10 seconds, longer than the limit. The ref did not do anything. JBL did not say anything, but all of a sudden, when Rhino hits the gore, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
This made no sense to me, wrestling-wise, so whatever. Bottom line is, Heath and Rhino win. That's the best part about it. Heath is still very, very over.
Yeah.
And he's getting a double wide now.
Yep. Getting a double wide. He's getting that above ground pool.
Good for this man. He will get a contract.
Good for him and all his kids.
Yeah.
So now...
he named them all, and I don't remember what they were, but they were great.
Yeah.
So now, we get to our main event. There's a lot of things that could be said about this match. Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. We all knew one thing. AJ was going to dominate the match because he is AJ Styles. Yeah. Let's be very, very clear right now with AJ Styles. He has wrestled Roman Reigns, he has wrestled John Cena, and he has wrestled Dean Ambrose, and has made all of them look very, very good. Because he is AJ fucking Styles.
Yeah. Yep.
He transcends. If you take AJ Styles before WWE was the best. You put him in a WWE universe, he is instantly 1,000 times better than every wrestler in that roster.
Yeah.
Because WWE wrestling is very, very low on the totem pole as far as the global.
He's someone they should have had, no matter how much you love him, how much you hate him. He's someone they should have had in that company a long time ago.
Took him a while, but he finally made the jump, and it's very clear that it was a reason why he was not in WWE. He would be destroying every wrestler in that company, night in and night out.
I don't know if you guys had to read that war novel in school, the things they carried.
No.
It was about AJ Styles and like all of his matches.
What? So, before the match started, they ran the promo of about the exchanged ball aggravating things that went on between AJ and Dean, and they made the AJ kicking Dean in the balls promo very, very good and epic. It was not epic. Why are they selling this like it was great?
It wasn't. It was weird and abrupt and
very awkward. If this was 2001, this is how this would have went down, and I pictured it in my head. Kicks him in the balls, takes the belt, knocks him in the fucking head with the belt, then keeps beating the shit out of him, and then pisses on him.
Wow.
Kicking a man in the balls and not following up with something else is very anticlimactic. Yes, you kicked him in the balls, but that is not your finisher.
Nope.
Yeah.
Back in the day, guys would get kicked in the balls or get hit from the back, and they would get the shit stomped out of them profusely.
Though I guess it was teasing what would be the finish of the match.
Whatever. Bottom line is, they ended SmackDown very bad, but that's not what we're here about. We're talking about this promo making it seem like it was a big deal. It was not.
Well, they're gonna, of course, try to play it up and hype the match up.
Yeah. True. So AJ makes his appearance. He makes his entrance. Then Dean comes down. They announce both of the competitors, and for some reason, when they said Cincinnati, Ohio, everyone booed. Probably because of Harambe.
Wow.
They said from Cincinnati, Ohio, and they all booed.
I'm sure it was exactly for Harambe. Which, time out from this whole wrestling thing for a second. Fuck Roger Goodell for having the gall for even for a day banning fans from ordering custom Harambe jerseys. It's our fucking money. We're not putting fuck on the back.
Yeah.
Let us get a fucking Harambe jersey. I'm glad you wised up and changed it in the same day, but fuck you, Goodell.
Yeah, like, come on, Roger. What are you doing?
This sport fucking sucks anyways.
Hey, football's fine, but Goodell's a total ass. You hear that, Goodell? If you're listening to this, you're a total ass.
Moving on from wrestling now. So, the Harambe boos drowned over. I think that's why they hate Dean Ambrose. Because he's from Cincinnati.
Yeah, he
Cincinnati
probably shot Harambe.
Yeah, he literally pulled the trigger.
Yep.
The lunatic fridge. How could he do this?
Right.
So doesn't even live in Ohio anymore.
Probably not. He lives
in Las Vegas.
He lives in Las Vegas, and he's a very dirty man and never takes a shower. So, the crowd obviously was behind AJ. It was very clear that the crowd was leaps and bounds ready for AJ to win this match. Because no one, by the way, everyone is turning on Dean Ambrose. I don't know if it's a Richmond, Virginia thing, but no one likes Dean Ambrose now. And
I don't think it was that people don't like Dean Ambrose. I think it's just that people were so behind AJ.
People realized that AJ is so much better than Dean Ambrose.
I don't think this is just a revelation. I think people knew.
No, people knew this, but it was apparent in this match.
Yeah. He's head and shoulders above most people that he goes up against.
AJ is essentially the Stone Cold Steve Austin of WWE at the moment. He cannot do anything to be hated. He just gets cheered more and more and more because everyone likes him, and he's AJ fucking Styles, and he knows how to wrestle, and he knows how to keep a match pace. So, needless to say, going into this match, I did not have any hopes for Dean to be good in this match. I had hopes for AJ completely dominating, which is how this match started. AJ completely dominated this match in the beginning, and one of the high notes that I put down was that there was a sunset roll up at one point, and AJ comes with a forearm and kills him badly. It was like a roll up, goes for the roll up, and then he comes out, and it's so audible. I mean, he fucking drills him right in the face with the forearm. AJ is running the match in the beginning. He completely dominates. It's all AJ. And then Dean starts to make a little comeback. The crowd boos. Everyone hates him. Everyone's like, no, we want to see more AJ beating up on you, you fucking asshole. Like, stop fighting back. So, Dean Ambrose, it's obvious that I think Dean is getting lazy. I think he is settled into the championship role. He is not trying to do anything. We all saw the Dolph Ziggler match. Who was the better wrestler in that match?
Obviously Dolph.
Obviously Dolph. Who was more entertaining in that match? Dolph. Dean Ambrose has regressed since being champion. He put on a good match against Baron Corbin, yes, because of the similar style. But since being champion, when you are champion, you must defend against other wrestlers. He cannot wrestle. This match was only good because AJ Styles made it good.
And you know what? AJ kind of forced Dean to wrestle a little bit. I saw him like pull some spots out that he doesn't normally do, and I was like, oh, look at that. Dean's wrestling. That's different.
Yeah.
Dean tries an avalanche. I think belly to back suplex, and it ended very badly. It did not look good, and it was evident by the fact that once they dropped, Dean looks at AJ and profusely asks him, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you fine? Are you alive?"
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I just fucked that up really badly. So, other than a lot of screw ups, Dean actually looked pretty good in this match. I mean, aside from the fact that he's wrestling AJ Styles, who makes everybody look good, Dean looked lazy, but because he has to wrestle AJ Styles, you cannot look lazy against AJ Styles. You must be on top of your game.
You gotta keep up,
You have to keep up with AJ Styles because he is so much further ahead of you than you think. And it's almost impossible to, like, catch up with this guy because he's just so much better than this entire roster put together.
Yeah.
And when I say Dean is getting lazier or not being very championship quality, is things like looking at the ref for every count. Why do guys do this? Why do guys, or people in general, women and men, look at the referee when they're counting as if they don't know to kick out? Why does that happen? Can anyone answer that question?
I mean, I suppose, like, if you were in a real life situation where you were getting pinned, you'd look at the ref and see, like, where the count's at. Like,
you can hear it, you can feel it.
Yeah, but I mean, you want to kick out. You want to kick it. I mean, you don't want to listen for it because you want to kick out before that last strike hits. You know, so you don't want to just like do it by ear.
That's good for storytelling purposes.
Especially
yes.
if you're going to do some false finish shit where you just barely kick out on time. Like you want to make sure like you get your shoulder off right before the hand.
My problem is it's so apparent on TV. And it kind of kills the mood.
I guess if you're like looking for that kind of shit, like I never noticed that.
I notice it all the time.
I never noticed.
And it's funny that you're calling that out, but yet you're getting on my case about calling these spots out.
Well, because Because it's something as simple as a pinfall, and it's a lot of things are noticeable to me. Something as a blockbuster avalanche. People are falling. 3 people are falling on their asses. It's very
but when
audible.
it takes too long to set up, or
Well, that's true.
doesn't make
timing. Back to the women's match for 2 seconds. The timing is very bad.
Yeah.
A lot of them cannot time a lot of things, and mostly Natty was not very good with her timing. But needless to say, this match, while it was a little longer than I thought it was going to be, because it is on a pay-per-view with like 5 matches. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but like it really felt like it was gonna really get kind of big towards the end and like they got one into the crowd and stuff, and that was cool. And then it just ended.
The finish was very like disappointing.
Yeah.
It was very lackluster. It was very abrupt. It just
and it took AJ forever to like set the Styles Clash up. Like
I think that was awful. Styles. That was like the worst Styles Clash.
That
he
was
kind of like hopped off
that
with 1 foot, and it was bad.
Was probably more Dean. Dean was not setting up.
Yeah.
Maybe Dean was just sandbagging it.
Yeah.
Dean was not setting up. He took a while. He staggered quite a bit.
But
to get into that.
it was noticeable.
Yeah.
Like he hit it quick. Like he like timed it.
Could have
missed it by a set, like a split second.
Dean took forever to get set up into that, and it almost cost him his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
He almost went the way of fucking
Yoshitatsu.
Yoshitatsu.
Snapping necks and cashing checks.
And Roderick Strong too, who had like a bruised fucking spine or whatever.
Yeah,
dude. Like it was. I mean, honestly, I feel like they should have let AJ go over clean. But I mean, I guess you got
AJ's a heel.
I know. That's the only reason you can't do that. But so AJ has a record now for holding the major belt in every major promotion.
Yeah, and like just think about the last 3 years for this guy. I know the divorce with TNA was kind of... It wasn't the way you wanted to see him go out. And I know technically the tapings for his TNA run ended before 2014. Like the actual like live part, but it being programmed on put on TNA programming happened in the beginning of 2014. But 2014, TNA champion.
Yeah.
2014, 2015, IWGP champion. 2016, WWE champion.
So
has a guy ever had a greater 3 years in the sport?
So if there was any doubt left about who the greatest wrestler in the world is, it's over. The conversation's over.
If
AJ Styles is it. Like
if there was a legitimate like wrestling Hall of Fame, like there are for other sports, that was him cementing his legacy as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, like AJ Styles is the
that
best,
moment right there.
AJ Styles is the best wrestler on the planet. I'll say that shit, and
it's
stand
true.
by that.
He has gone across the world, come back, wrestled in every state, and he's proven himself.
He's won everywhere he's ever been. Like that's it.
He's it. And I would like to bring something back that I saw a long time ago on the internet wrestling forums. A lot of people saying it, and this was a long time ago, around 08, 09. Guys were talking about TNA and how it sucked, and possibly AJ going to WWE. And then a lot of guys were saying how AJ couldn't survive in WWE, mostly because his promo skills weren't bad. His promo skills, his promo skills have been very good lately.
In TNA, I was not the biggest fan of him on the mic, but since he's come to WWE, he's gotten better.
I still like face AJ better than heel AJ on the mic as a character, but he's doing fine.
AJ working with the Bullet Club got him better on the mic because he learned how to be a dickhead. Yeah. He learned how to properly talk, and he's probably shooting from the hip. Maybe, not sure.
Hanging out with Carl Anderson and Kenny Omega will do that.
Got him good on the mic, and good for AJ, because I remember a long time ago people saying that he will never survive in WWE because of his promo skills. He's
more than surviving right now.
Yeah, he is surviving very well.
He's the best thing going.
He's the champ that runs the camp, baby. Yeah.
So my question was, and I understand his position in the company. I understand his position on SmackDown. However, why could they not just let AJ Styles go over clean? He deserves it. He is the best wrestler on the planet.
He is, and he does deserve it, but like Anthony said, he's heel.
He's heel.
So he's got to win.
He is the most over heel you could possibly get.
I can guarantee you there, like, in the rematch, he will go over clean.
Yeah, I would say so.
Just like he did with Cena. It was like, he went over dirty the first time, he went over clean the second time. Yeah. He will go over clean again. I doubt they'll let his title reign end in a month.
No, yeah. I think this is supposed to be a lengthy title run. I think they're gonna build the whole thing he's got going with Cena now for 16, but I don't think Cena's gonna win. Plus, Cena's taking time off after No Mercy anyway, so
yeah,
it's gonna be a fun build, and then
it'll be a little build, and then maybe who knows? Maybe, something will happen where one of those guys will cost the other their opportunity. Yeah. AJ capitalizes, and then.
They might come back to the 16 thing, though. I haven't read anything about it. This is just me speculating that for however long Cena takes time off. Maybe John Cena, AJ Styles at WrestleMania might be a thing.
Maybe.
I wouldn't hate it.
Maybe.
Or they make a great decision, and they sign Christopher Daniels. Now, hold on a second. Then for WrestleMania, right before WrestleMania, you call up Samoa Joe. Then you call up Christopher Daniels.
Triple threat.
And then we get a triple threat at WrestleMania, a rematch of Unbreakable 2005 in TNA.
Wow.
11 years in the making, finally the rematch we all deserve from a TNA pay-per-view back in 2005.
If Chris Daniels is a little younger.
Yeah.
I think I can still work.
He's getting there.
That's true.
No, he's still
Chris Daniels is still
very good at his job.
I thought maybe he should have been in the CWC.
I would not be...
That would have been sick.
I would not... Yeah, better than Paul fucking... Or not Paul. I was about to say Paul Kendrick. Brian Kendrick, Paul London.
Did you almost talk about Paul London, right?
Brian Kendrick and D-Bry sucking his dick. The whole thing was just...
Brian Kendrick infinitely blows. I do not like Brian Kendrick.
I don't like anything about him. Anything. He's...
I don't hate him.
He was only good back in around 2009 when he was the Brian Kendrick, and he was running around with... oh, man.
Paul London?
No. He's rolling around with oh my god, he was like Titus O'Neil, Ezekiel
Jackson?
Yeah, Ezekiel Jackson. Okay. Yeah, he's rolling around with him, Big Zeke.
Yeah.
And then he left the company. But I will say this. I do not like Brian Kendrick for one reason and one reason only. He had a match with Austin Aries at Battle of Los Angeles 2009, and it sucked balls. And ever since then, I always look at Brian Kendrick and want to vomit. That's just it. That's the way it works. That's the way I work. If you have one bad match or do one stupid... It has taken me a while to recover from Ricochet completely screwing up the end of Heartache that he took from Roderick Strong at Battle...
You've been talking about this for 5 years, dude. He's been so upset about it.
I'm sorry. When guys don't take moves correctly, if you don't do the correct sell job, I do not buy it.
You realize that all of your favorite wrestlers have fucked up somewhere along the lines, and you could have a legitimate, by your logic, have a legitimate reason to hate every wrestler you like.
Except we don't use logic on this show.
Obviously.
So screw you, man. Screw you. So, rate from 1 to 10. What do we think about Backlash? The first Backlash was 2009, by the way.
7 out of 10. It still felt B-showy, but it was.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm giving it a 6. I'm giving it a 6. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was alright.
I feel the beginning and the end sort of kind of held it down. The middle of the sandwich, there was nothing there.
Yeah,
the middle was just...
there's no meat in that sandwich.
Yeah. The outcomes for all the major matches, I think, really glossed over some of the lower points.
But they were also all very predictable. They were all very predictable outcomes. All the titles all...
the women's match wasn't that predictable.
Yeah, everyone knew Becky Lynch was going to win.
He had a point with the Nikki Bella thing.
Okay, we all agreed.
The next logical one would have been Becky.
We all agreed that Nikki would be a step backwards for the company, and that they're all across the board, both brands are pushing the new era. So Becky's obviously going to win.
Even if they were predictable, they were all culminations of
and the main event
a long-term thing that we wanted to see.
That's fine, but the main event didn't have a satisfying ending. It was disappointing. The tag title matches were lackluster. They were just meh.
But for a B show, the endings really going. Especially going in, I didn't have any expectations. I thought the show was gonna suck.
If you want to qualify it by saying, well, it's the B show, and then put training wheels on it, then sure, it was fine in that sense. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, as a pay-per-view, it was not that good. It was all right. It wasn't awful. It wasn't.
I don't know.
It wasn't.
It
awful,
had its highs. It had its lows.
It wasn't the perfect pay-per-view.
It was mediocre.
Yeah, maybe
very mediocre.
Maybe just because
there was enough high points to not make it a 5.
Yeah. I think a lot of people expected it to suck, and that's why a lot of people were pleasantly surprised that it was.
Because I mean,
the
Bray shit dragged it down so hard.
The Bray Wyatt Randy Orton build was,
and the double tag thing was I didn't need to see 2 fucking tag matches, man.
No. Correct yourself, sir. You didn't have to see the Usos twice in one night.
That's okay, fine. I didn't need to see the Usos twice in one night. Yeah. That whole middle portion was just the Miz and Dolph. I didn't dig any of that shit.
I would much rather see Mojo Rawley wrestle a pillow than watch the Usos do anything.
They could have cut out those middle 3 matches, and I would have been fine just watching the 6-pack women's challenge and then AJ, do his thing.
Yeah. They definitely, if Randy Orton even had a slight chance of not being on this pay-per-view, they shouldn't have shoved this whole Randy Bray Wyatt thing down our throat, because that was a big draw for this pay-per-view. Aside from the championship match, it was a big draw. Everyone wanted to see Randy Orton and how he was going to recover from the whole Brock Lesnar situation, which, by the way, had no resolve. It was just guy got fined $500.
The only good matches were the beginning and the end, and they both had predictable finishes. And the main event had a disappointing finish. So no, this was not a good pay-per-view. All right, this was okay. I will give it a 6, and that's being generous.
I will meet you guys in the middle. 6.5 out of 10.
All right.
I will meet you guys in the middle.
That's fine.
It's not high. It's not low. It was meh. It had a good bun.
I've talked to guys who have totally shit all over this pay-per-view. My brother just fucking laced this thing up.
Really?
He was like, "This is."
I've heard a lot of positive response.
He's like, "This was complete shit."
For the first SmackDown Live pay-per-view, it was not that impressive.
I think a combination of low expectations and the fact of the results of all the matches that mattered is what really helped the match.
They did what they should have done.
Yeah,
that's good.
They did what they had. They did what they had to do, and they got the hell out of there.
Yeah,
there was no.
And it was nice that the pay-per-view was short. It was 2 hours.
Thank God. Thank God a WWE pay-per-view was finally. No bullshit. Here's what's going to happen. I mean, there was the intro in the beginning, but here's the good thing about... I was a little, distraught when I saw Shane and D-Bry show up, but I also went, these guys are going to cut a 50-minute promo. They said, hey, guys, welcome to SmackDown Live. It's first pay-per-view. By the way, here's a women's match.
It made sense because it was the first pay-per-view of the new era.
Yeah.
I forgave it for that, but if they keep doing that, that'll suck.
But they jumped right into the first match. They didn't really screw around. They did what they had to do. They got the hell out of there. No harm, no foul. That I will give them credit for.
Yeah.
They didn't screw around. So this pay-per-view wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Like I said, the bun was good. The bun tasted really good. Both the buns, the middle, not so good. There was nothing in the middle, and it didn't need a lot of the things I had. Yeah. And the Usos wrestling twice in one night.
Yeah, but
Jesus, I would have loved to see Kane in the Big Show rather than there's a lot of things on this planet. I will write a list for you, Anthony, of the things I'd rather see than the Usos wrestle heel.
Oh, I'm sure that there was. Yeah. But I mean, it was, like I said, the results for all the major matches were really, really carried this show. Like Becky's long, hard road and AJ's road from having the TNA stink and thinking he was never going to get there.
And Dolph Ziggler getting completely jobbed out. Yeah. A lot of good stories in this one. A lot of good stories.
Heath Slater and Rhino.
Yes, and a lot of stupid commentary that make no sense. But at least we get to get an ECW chant. Highlight of the night.
Yeah, speaking of never going away.
Speaking of highlight of the night, so highlight of this pay-per-view, I will start. The Miz actually eating the turnbuckle like a man. I mean, Ziggler threw him into the turnbuckle, and it sounded like he hit that fucker really hard. And I went, wow, Mike, good on you. took it like a champ. And I haven't seen anybody eat a turnbuckle since they got the new LED turnbuckles in a while. It's the first time I've seen that, so give them credit for that one. Anyone else?
Yeah, highlighted the night, obviously, Alexa debuting the pigtails. Yeah.
Yes.
Coming out in that Harley Quinn shit. I marked, I mean, I had...
Amongst other things.
Yeah, I had to... I was watching this with my girlfriend at the time, so I couldn't mark too hard, but in my head, I was marking pretty hard, so...
For me, it's gotta just be AJ winning. It was...
Yeah, that too.
I mean, like, it seemed like it was gonna go there, but just there's just something, like...
There's always that doubt.
Like, they weren't gonna pull the trigger.
And they did it, and they did it, and he's the guy.
And it's kind of a big deal in the world of wrestling. Like, has there ever been a TNA guy that's won the WWE Championship? I mean, I get CM Punk wrestled a couple of matches in TNA, but I mean,
no. You cannot consider CM Punk.
I'm talking like a legit TNA guy.
No, but he did become the fourth guy to hold a major title in the championship rather in the WWE and ROH. So
he was never ROH champion.
He wasn't ROH champion.
No, we've talked about this before.
Did we talk about this before?
Yes, he was. I believe he was the pure champion, but he wasn't the world champion.
I could have sworn he was.
AJ Styles was never the. A lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah,
because you would think he would because he's such a big name, but no, he was never the Ring of Honor champion.
Really?
Nope.
Never.
He is the first TNA guy, and in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
By the way, no wasting any time on this guy.
Yeah.
He came in. He showed up at the Royal Rumble. And everyone knew AJ Styles. The good thing about AJ and the reason why he can do this is because everyone knew who he was. He was the most famous TNA wrestler aside from Samoa Joe that came out of that
AJ Styles
company.
is bigger than Samoa Joe.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
But the second biggest guy was Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
But AJ transcended TNA.
Yeah.
Everyone knew who AJ Styles was.
Yeah.
There was no question who AJ Styles was. So that's why he can do this. He can just come straight to the main roster and just kick ass and not have to worry about anyone not knowing who he is.
And with the way TNA is, he may be the only guy that ever wins both, or that wins the WWE Championship after the TNA Championship.
That's true. That's true.
Wait,
Samoa will be there.
Maybe I'm thinking of Steen. Maybe Steen's the fourth guy. Yeah. So it's a whole. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Steen, right?
That's the fourth guy that's held the Ring of Honor Championship in the WWE. Who would be Steen, Rollins,
D-Bry,
and CM Punk.
Yeah. I'm thinking Steen. My bad. Yeah.
So, a year ago, in September 16th, 2015, did you ever think that the top two champions in WWE would be Kevin Steen and AJ Styles?
Not for a second.
If you told me 2 years ago that the top three guys in the WWE would be Steen, Styles, and Nakamura, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
that's outrageous. But here we are.
Three different companies.
The indie revolution is at hand, man.
If you look at the title picture, as a whole, and all in Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, there's just so much.
Yeah,
there's so much indie revolution.
Aside from that, too, you could also say T.J. Perkins.
T.J. Perkins, Becky Lynch, Asuka.
Yeah.
Not a single one of these champions was a big WWE guy around this time last year.
Yeah.
So it is pretty ridiculous how the indie revolution has made its way into WWE and officially
in a very short period of time, about 2 years, about a 2 year span, all this stuff is.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Has happened.
Yeah, if you told me that Shinsuke Nakamura, New Japan, AJ Styles, TNA. Well, TNA. Yeah, we'll consider him TNA.
TNA, New Japan.
Kevin Steen, PWG, ROH.
Yeah.
These guys would be running the biggest wrestling promotion on the planet. I would probably tell you to go fuck yourself.
I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's pretty crazy.
Insane. And that is why we're doing this now. Because now WWE is actually, for the most part, getting better.
Yeah.
It's actually
This has the makings of being one of the best eras, like, ever.
Yeah.
From at least from a talent perspective.
A lot of the guys got pushed out, so a lot of these guys basically got the boot. Said if you can't hang or if you don't like being in the mid card, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
We don't need you here. And it's a good time to be a WWE fan because there's a lot going on.
And there's still more coming, too.
And
more to
Vinnie
come.
Mac is winning right now. Like, a couple years ago, Vince McMahon realized that, like, there's the internet and people are watching other stuff and that the world is a little bit bigger than he thought it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I'm going to take it all. And I'm just going to skim off the top of all these sweet indie promotions. Like,
I'm sure he had a...
Bullet Club was a thorn in his side. He has the club. And, like...
I'm sure it took a lot of chorusing by
I'm sure,
Triple
yeah.
H.
Yeah, I'm sure someone had to sit him down with a tablet and, like, teach him what YouTube was, like, but, yeah, it's, yeah.
Let's put it this way. WWE realized that their quote-unquote homegrown guys weren't cutting it in the wrestling world. The wrestling world is much bigger than WWE, so there was only one logical way to get it, to get that demo a part of your universe, and that was to sign everybody.
And you kind of saw it happen with NXT. Like, all of the guys that were getting over, like, had some sort of indie credibility. Like, these, like, jock, big guy football players that WWE, like, Vince McMahon loves to sign, none of them were gaining any traction. None of them were doing anything. I mean, outside of Mojo Rawley and Baron Corbin.
And it's good to see that there's an influx of Bullet Club shirts and actually a lot of other shirts that you would not find in WWE's shop, because that means that he's actually drawing the crowds that...
There's been Bullet Club shirts for a while.
Yeah, it's not...
Well, bottom line is that it's not a WWE shop shirt. And the fact that all these people are coming from everywhere with all these different shirts that you can't find at a WWE website it's drawing a lot of other people in, because he knows that he's got every single, and literally right now he's got 3 different like worlds of promotions running his company at the moment.
Because of course, it's because it's smart plan. Like, you're bringing everybody in, like, you're taking all the top guys. You're going to bring everybody in. You're going to bring more eyeballs back. There's a lot of people who have left watching WWE to watch other things. I've done it. I got back in wrestling in 2011. I've been in and out so many times with the WWE.
Yeah.
In the 5-year span.
So here's one thing Vince McMahon has learned, and we will end it with this. If you cannot beat them or be better than them, sign them.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So with that, we will pack this up, and our first official review as the redesigned, rebuilt, rebranded podcast. Until next time, Top Guys out.